SpongeBob of the SquarePants, Magician Level 1.
Let's take a look at 12 mistakes that you might have missed in episodes from Season 3 and 4 of SpongeBob. You don't want to miss these, so watch closely and see if you can spot them. Now let's dive in. Number 1, missing identity.
While it is against my philosophy to disagree with the customer, I must point out that I am in fact wearing a name tag. Right here.
First up on our list is Missing Identity, an episode from Season 3 where SpongeBob loses his name tag.
Just a quick heads up, boys. There's gonna be a surprise uniform inspection in 1 hour. Anyone who doesn't pass gets the boot.
With this threat looming over SpongeBob's head, he sets out on an adventure to figure out where his missing name tag could have gone. He starts off by retracing his steps.
Most important meal of the day, Gary's Way. Blah!
While SpongeBob is retracing his steps, a few mistakes happen along the way. See if you can spot them as the clips play.
Squidward, what happened?
Huh? Oh, you fainted because you lost your name tag or something.
Whenever SpongeBob first leaves the kitchen, you can see the register sitting on the boat in front of Squidward. Whenever SpongeBob approaches Squidward after fainting, the register is nowhere to be seen on the boat, and it stays missing for the entire scene.
If you really want to find your name tag, just retrace your steps.
Okay, Patrick, you know the plan, right?
I got it. You're gonna retrace your steps, and when you walk by me, I say hi, just like this morning.
Did you spot the mistake in the background? Whenever Patrick is standing outside of SpongeBob's house, Squidward's house is missing. It usually sits between Patrick's rock, which we can see, and SpongeBob's house like this.
Don't forget your line this time.
I won't.
Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it.
In the end, we find out exactly where SpongeBob's name tag has been this entire time.
Hey, SpongeBob.
Not now, Patrick.
I know where your name tag is.
Where?
However, we catch a few glimpses throughout the episode of SpongeBob's back, and the name tag isn't there.
I don't see my name tag up here. Yep. Oh!
In these two scenes, we get a clear shot of SpongeBob's back, but there's no name tag. Although it was supposed to be a surprise to the audience where it was the entire time, including it for us to see, or just not showing SpongeBob's back at all, would have made it more believable. Number 2, ugh. In this special episode of SpongeBob from Season 3 called Ugh, we're taken back to the age of cavemen. Each character is a caveman version of themselves.
Tatate SpongeGar Bob wanna gog. No puka squad. Squad te la foo.
They each have their own caveman names too, a twist on their usual names. SpongeBob is SpongeGar, Patrick is Patar, and Squidward is Squog. This episode is a really fun and entertaining take on characters we've grown familiar with, but let's check out some of these mistakes. Did you spot it? Putting the clips side by side definitely helps make the mistake more noticeable. At the beginning of the episode, there is no door on Squidward's house. After Squidward goes sliding into his house, about 10 minutes pass before we see it again. This time around, he is trying to unlock the door and get inside. The door just kinda appears out of nowhere.
Patar! Walk, SpongeGar.
Money, I go. Money, I go. Ah!
In this scene, the mistake has to do with the shape of the stick. Whenever Patrick eats it and stabs it through his lips, it's a pretty decent size. But when SpongeBob removes it and impales the crab, the stick is much thinner than it was before.
Tar! Babwana, Patar! Babwana! SpongeGar, wait!
Whenever SpongeBob is shown hanging upside down from a distance, there's nothing below him but regular ground. When he falls, leaves fly up from the ground as if he's fallen into a pile of leaves. And then when we see him sitting there later, there are no leaves. They just appear for that one shot. Number 3, the thing.
They wouldn't know real culture even if it hit them like a truck full of cement.
The Thing is an episode from Season 4 where Squidward gets covered with cement, and SpongeBob and Patrick mistake him for a wild animal.
What is that thing, Patrick?
I don't know. Let's get a closer look.
Here you are, your new home.
The two friends take the cement-covered Squidward under their care, but things don't go so well.
You leave Smelly alone. He's just a poor, dumb, wild animal.
Wild animals don't belong here, son. They belong in the zoo. Get him, boys!
Squidward, just wanting some peace and quiet, turned into a disaster. But let's rewind to the beginning of the episode where our first mistake occurs. Patrick's rock can be seen next to Squidward's house, and something is missing. There is usually a path leading up to Patrick's house, which we see later in the episode.
Smelly, come back! Smelly!
For some reason, at the start of the episode, the path just isn't included for that scene.
Could you turn it up?
Squidward, could you turn it down a little?
Squidward, what's this about? Squidward?
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 Oh, that's it! All I wanted to do was watch some smooth jazz on public television.
Were you able to spot the mistake? SpongeBob and Patrick are holding juice boxes while sitting on the couch watching TV. Whenever Squidward snaps and jumps off of the couch, the juice boxes that the two friends were holding are now gone.
Day 5, I think. I've been waddling these fields. I'm hungry, tired, and lost. The only good thing about this is no SpongeBob.
Maybe he's an endangered species.
Throughout most of the episode, Squidward is covered in cement and cannot speak or move very well. But in this scene, Squidward can move more smoothly and move his lips now. Number 4, selling out.
Howard,
What would it take to buy the Krusty Krab from you?
buy the Krusty Krab. It's not for sale. It's not about the money. Holy sweet mother of pearl. I like the way you think, Blandy.
The last episode we'll be looking at for today's video is Selling Out from Season 4. In this episode, Mr. Krabs sells the Krusty Krab for a significant sum of money to a man who has bought every small business in Bikini Bottom. But it seems the quiet life is not for Mr. Krabs.
Get some friends, she says. Find a hobby, she says. Get a job, she says. Oh. Help wanted.
And Mr. Krabs ends up right back at the Krabby-O-Mondays, the new restaurant where the Krusty Krab once sat. The mistakes we'll be looking at happen towards the end of the episode, whenever the Krabby-O-Mondays has its true colors revealed.
See that? Without all your smoke and mirrors, no one would stomach this garbage.
What'd he say? Garbage?
The fish that asks what Mr. Krabs just said is known as Incidental 42, which is actually a male character who has made a few appearances across the seasons. Check out this clip from Season 1's Employee of the Month episode.
Oh my!
This is what he usually sounds like, so the voice is completely wrong in this episode. As the customers run out of Krabby-O-Mondays, you can audibly hear screaming as they go, but not a single one of them has their mouths open. They are all pinched shut, like they're going to be sick from the garbage they were being fed.
Does this mean I won't get that raise, sir?
At the very end of the episode, the gunk floods the Krabby-O-Mondays, washing out everyone within. The odd thing about this scene, though, is that all the customers fled the store earlier, but whenever we see the flood of gunk, customers are shown getting washed away too. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Then click the video on screen to watch our newest video. See you there.
Even fell for the old thermometer and the boiling oil routine.